going to work to make sure we pull together, we get the economy working for everybody, not just those at the top.
Hillary Clinton pitching her economic plan to Las Vegas unions, the new job training program she's unveiling.
You described actually the ESA, not a voucher. It's not a voucher program.
It doesn't matter which way you funnel the money, because you're funneling money at some point.
Our Face-Off panel weighs in on the Education Savings Accounts program, how the public feels about it, and whether it is a voucher system or not.
Will there ever be a point in time when you're able to look at Trump in the eye?
And a military mom booed at a Mike Pence rally in northern Nevada, what the mother was trying to say as she was confronting the vice presidential candidates.
From 8 News Now, this is Politics Now with Steve Sebelius and Patrick Walker.
Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton was in Las Vegas this week, once again campaigning with union workers. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Sebelius.
And I'm Patrick Walker. Clinton told the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 357 that she will keep the economy growing.
I think this election comes down to economic opportunity, national security, and American unity. And I'm going to work to make sure we pull together. We get the economy working for everybody, not just those at the top. We keep our country safe. We work with our friends and allies. We don't insult them.
Well, Clinton took the stage with Senator Harry Reid by her side, and she told the union she's pushing for apprenticeship programs in free community college.
It makes no sense to me that Donald Trump can take bankruptcy 6 times, get out from under his debts, and we don't let families and students refinance their college debts.
Well, outside her speech, there were 3 or 4 dozen protesters, a sight that has now become an election staple on both sides. So, Steve, every time that we've seen Secretary Clinton come to town, she's been speaking at union halls, speaking with union workers. Why is she just speaking to the base? I mean, these are the folks that really did push her over the top here in Clark County and in the state.
You would think at this point that she would have, union workers locked up. Then that would be her big constituency. I think probably she does. But this particular appearance, I think, was meant to underscore something she was trying to do, which was extend vocational education as part of her education outreach. She's already got the students with the 4-year degrees and the student debt. Now she's trying to bring in vocational education, people who are not going to go through the traditional 4-year college but still want a job where it's a middle-class wage. And so she's trying to build a coalition, triangulate, if you will, because remember, this was a pretty Republican idea. Marco Rubio embraced it, and a number of Republicans have embraced it. So I think she's trying to capture that demographic away from Donald Trump.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, on the Republican side, Donald Trump's running mate, Mike Pence, made a trip to Carson City where he hosted a town hall event. But it took a bit of a turn when a Blue Star mom asked him about the campaign's response to the parents of an Army captain killed in Afghanistan.
Time and time again, Trump has disrespected our nation's armed forces and veterans, and his disrespect for Mr. Khan and his family is just an example of that. Will there ever be a point in time when you're able to look at Trump in the eye and tell him enough is enough?
It's okay.
You have a son in the military.
It's okay.
How do you tolerate his disrespect?
Well, I thank you for the question. It's all right. It's all right.
That military mother is Catherine Byrne. Pence answered her by saying he's never met anyone more committed to the troops than Donald Trump. Here's how she responded after the rally on CNN.
I just don't understand what that means to him, because what comes out of Mr. Trump's mouth is just so disturbing. So I don't know how we can call that support of the troops. And to offend our
Byrne's son is a staff sergeant in the United States Air Force, and she says he's currently deployed in the Persian Gulf.
Well, the Supreme Court is considering several key decisions on education savings accounts and the rooftop solar ballot measure. First up, the court did make a decision on the rooftop solar issue. The end result, what was known as Question 5, a ballot measure to restore the rooftop solar rates to pre-2005 levels, will not be on the November ballot. It aimed to kill a law that let the PUC impose higher charges on those customers. Now, it pitted solar installation companies like Solar City against NV Energy. Justices said a summary of the initiative printed on the front for voters to read was, quote, inaccurate, misleading, and argumentative. So, Steve, one issue on there that the justices did not address was whether or not they should have filed the referendum or the initiative petition.
Right, yeah, exactly. One is the referendum is to repeal laws. The initiative is to propose new laws. The district court actually addressed that issue, but when it got to the Supreme Court, they did it backwards. They said, no, we're going to start with this issue of whether or not this description of effect is adequate. When they found it wasn't, they said we don't need to worry about the rest of it because that nixes it off the ballot. And that's very common at the Supreme Court. You see that a lot with a lot of initiatives. They fail at that measure.
So we'll see how they choose to move forward from this point. Right. Now, we are also waiting for a Supreme Court decision on the Education Savings Account program. The Supreme Court heard arguments on that program, dubbed school choice, last Friday. Now, it allows parents to take the state's share of public school funds and use it to help pay for education expenses, including books, tutors, or tuition at private schools. More than 7,000 parents have applied to use the program, and the law is being challenged on two different fronts. The one that seems to have the best shot of succeeding is the one that we think has the best shot of succeeding, at least, is a challenge that it is unconstitutional because public funding cannot go to religious schools. So joining us now to talk about the Education Savings Account program is the man who's in charge of administering it, State Treasurer Dan Schwartz. Thanks for joining us. And first off, I think let's just start with, okay, we talked about the two fronts, public money being diverted and religious education. Split decisions coming, but it's interesting the state is in the position because both of the challenges have to go the state's way.
First of all, Patrick and Steve, thanks for having me. To answer your question there, and make sure that I'm sort of staying on point here, there are two cases. One is the Judge Johnson's case in Las Vegas, two is District Court Judge Wilson's decision in Carson City. I actually disagree with you in terms of what the Supreme Court is likely to where they're likely to come down.
Okay.
I think that Judge Johnson's opinion in the Blaine Amendment, which was the public funds for sectarian purposes, I think he was very clear and very convincing in saying that this is for an educational purpose. What we're a little more concerned about, although not overly concerned, is the court's questions on the Lopez case, which is the northern case in Carson City.
Okay.
What my concern was, I was not there, but I listened to the cases on tape. The court kindly put them in recording, and a couple of the justices were sort of questioning the appropriations process, which is not 302; it's actually 515. And I think where they were getting at was, well, your mandate, your legislative mandate, is to fund the schools first. You did that, but you also took out this chunk of money.
This seems to me to be a fairly easy legislative fix, right? So you appropriate a school's budget, set that aside, you're done, and then you appropriate separately funds for ESAs. That would fix the problem, right?
I think it would. I mean, that's it's when I say I'm concerned. They're actually, I think their arguments are the common schools side are misplaced, because we had 3 hearings on this, and we had Senator Hammond at one of them, and he very clearly said that we were talking about the 100-day requirement, that we considered what this would do to the budget, and we therefore put the 100 days in. But I think it clearly evinces that the legislature did take into account what they were doing, and they understood its impact on the school funding.
Really quickly, with respect to the sectarian purpose language, if the court were to uphold that seems there's an easy legislative fix there too, right? You simply say, okay, these funds can't go to schools with sectarian purpose. What would that do to the program if that was implemented?
I think to back up is it would somewhat, I think, eviscerate it, because what you've then got to do, and this goes to the question of whether it's not a voucher program, but the issue of whether it is, that we're giving parents school choice. And you've got to go to each and every one of them and just say, why did you go to Bishop Gorman? Why did you go to St. Mary's? Why did you go to Rabbi Schechter's school? So I think I'd like to stay with Judge Johnson's ruling that the clear and manifest purpose here was education. religion was just not relevant.
Well, we'll have more on that discussion coming up in a bit. Unfortunately, things move very quickly here as we talk about this. We have another topic we want to talk about as well. When we come back, we'll have more with Treasurer Dan Schwartz talking about the deal with electric car maker Faraday Future and the questions he has about the financial strength of the company. That's on the other side of this break.
I'm Alan Yarbrough, sales manager, Jim Marsh Kia. Jim Marsh Kia's expansion sale is going on right now. Jim Marsh Kia has over 400 new Kias to choose from, and we need to make room for our new showroom. Get a new Kia for only $99 per month. Jim Marsh Kia is the #1 Kia dealer in Nevada, and the reason is we can sell for less. Jim Marsh Kia has so many new Kias to choose from that we are stacking them deep and selling them cheap. And remember, if you don't drive here, you can't save here.
I survived because of the transplant center.
I survived because of the burn care center.
I survived because of the trauma center.
UMC. Together, we shine.
$19 an hour. That's what the average Uber driver makes to pay the bills. But after taking $70,000 from taxi companies, Catherine Cortez Masto drove Uber out of Nevada. $19 an hour. It's not much for Cortez Masto. She lived large on more than $60,000 of trips and gifts from other special interests. In Washington, would she work for us or them? Freedom Partners Action Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The Race Now on Politics Now is sponsored by NV Energy. We're putting all of our energy into your energy.
Investors, rents are at an all-time high here in Las Vegas.
We charge 7% a month for property management, no setup fees, no hidden fees. Let us put more money back in your pocket.
Call today.
I'm attorney Glenn Lerner. Make one call, that's all, to 877-1500, and I'll make sure you get every dollar you deserve.
877-1500. Welcome back to Politics Now.
Well, welcome back. We're joined again by State Treasurer Dan Schwartz. Now, Treasurer, you've been raising some concerns about Faraday Future as we turn the conversation there, specifically with the financing behind it coming out of China. What are those concerns that you're having?
First of all, let me be clear. I am totally for economic development. I think the Tesla project's a great project. I know there have been some concerns raised about that. But again, it's the county is kicking in. They're building batteries. They're not building cars. It's on a well-established plot of ground.
Sure.
The Faraday Future project, and again, we're waiting on them for more details. If you've been up there, it's effectively desert wasteland. The municipality, northern Las Vegas, is, shall we say, financially challenged. They've never built a car in their history. Okay, they're an internet company, and a successful internet company in China. And then finally, when it was initially presented, there was a mysterious Chinese billionaire. Okay, we've had several conversations with the company, and in fact, I am a week from yesterday, Thursday, I'm going to have dinner in LA with the vice chairman of the Leshy, which is financing the project. But I just don't see, they want us to issue bonds, 185 billion, and I have not seen a financing plan. Now, do they need to require that? Do they need to provide that? No, they've got to put up a performance bond. But we just have gotten different answers at different times. And the truth of the matter is the mysterious Chinese billionaire, he's a creative guy, but he is financing this with margin loans. And for those of you who are watching who don't know what margin loan, it's a loan against securities. Again, perfectly legal, nothing wrong with that, but I've never seen a long-term economic project financed with margin loans.
So you have these concerns. Do you have the legal authority to say, because of these concerns, on my own initiative, I'm not going to issue these bonds? Or do you have that authority once the legislature has signed off and the governor?
The authority that I have is to bring the bonds to the Board of Finance. Okay, the only person in this state who can do that is the state treasurer. Okay. Now,
so can you decline to do that if you're not satisfied?
I can decline to do that. Now, I'm not saying I will. I'm not saying that I will.
Even if the board wants you to bring this forward?
If the board wants me to bring it forward, I will bring it forward. But I would certainly bring it forward with the recommendation that the bonds not be issued. As I say, I don't stand in the way of progress, but until these concerns, which I think are very legitimate concerns, are allayed, I don't want to put the Nevada taxpayer on the hook.
I don't know if you could do this quickly. We've got about 20 more seconds. But when you look at the project itself and going to special session with these concerns, should these have been brought up as this was pushed through last December?
In my opinion, no. I think it was rushed. I think there was very little due diligence done. And I think the company has been angry at me because I said these things. It's not me. It's the press that's raising the issues. As I said, I'm all for economic development. I want to see Mayor Lee and North Las Vegas prosper, but there are concerns.
Treasurer Dan Schwartz, thank you for coming in and sitting down with us today. We really appreciate it.
Good. Thanks, Patrick.
All right, well, coming up next, more on education savings account. Our face-off panel weighing in on new polling and whether it is really a voucher program or not. Plus, more endorsements in the Senate race, including one who switched candidates. That's coming up.
Hi, I'm Dallas Orton, and I'm proud that Martindale Hubbell provided me with an AV rating and named my law firm a preeminent law firm in the country. What that means is we have the highest legal and ethical abilities. When hiring a personal injury lawyer, make sure he has the proper credentials to take care of you.
The world is getting more dangerous. Your home may not be as safe as you think. Trust Rollot & Rolling Shutters to protect your home, your business, and especially your family. Your windows alone can't stop burglars. You need the protection only Rollot & Rolling Shutters can provide. With durable construction and insulation, you'll be safe and secure while saving up to 60% off your energy bills. Learn how to get a free motor with purchase. Rollot now offers retractable awnings and exterior zip solar drops. Call 702-878-1072 for your peace of mind.
What's trending? Pocket monster apps, superhero movies. But the hottest trend is paying invoice at Prestige Chrysler Jeep Dodge. Right now, lease new Ram Quad Cabs only $179 a month. New Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab, take a flat $14,000 off. Don't miss invoice pricing during the summer clearance event. Ram Quad Cab, just $179 a month. Ram Bighorn Crew Cab, $14,000 off. Call, click, or come in to Prestige Chrysler Jeep Dodge on Centennial Center Boulevard.
Save big with Tireworks oil changes, now only $9.45. Tireworks AC Special for just $29.95. And right now, when you buy 4 tires, you'll get 50% off our 4-wheel alignment.
Hurting a wreck and need a check? I'm attorney Glenn Lerner.
877-1500. Sports are cool. Waiting for the news to start is not. Don't sit around waiting 17 days this August.
Hey, Nia Wong is live on the scene and has the latest for us. Nia?
Turn to 8 News now for all the news you need at all the times you expect.
It's our top story at 4 o'clock. Rain, sizable hail, and flooding on the valley floor.
Morning, afternoon, and night. 8 News Now, the Valley's news leader. You're watching Politics Now.
Well, while we wait for a Supreme Court decision on the education savings account, the debate over the program rages on. In this week's Face-Off, KXNT radio host Alan Stock and Battleborn Progress Executive Director Annette Magnus tackle a recent poll about the program and how the money's being used.
Channel 13 here did commission a poll with Rasmussen Reports that tackled that issue among others, and it was a 51% margin in favor, so obviously very tight and right down the middle, but parents favoring the program. It can be a fool's game to try to predict what the Supreme Court is going to do, but we hear the arguments were well made on both sides. The court of public opinion, at least in that poll, seems to be tight. Do you think that reflects? Do you think that may...
Yeah, I have some issues with the way that poll was conducted. The questions that were actually asked in that poll were they didn't describe what actually was happening with the money, which is taking that money out of the DSA, the distributive schools account, and redistributing it privately for private schools, religious schools, other things. So we're actually taking that money away from public schools to fund a private religious education in most cases. And so for me, I have a tremendous problem with the way they worded the poll, because I think if you go back and look at it, and studies have shown this, when you actually word it correctly and you tell people exactly what this is, which is a voucher program, giving the private money to people so they can go out and, go to whatever school they want. School choice sounds real great until you actually dive into it and you see that you're taking money away from poor kids to give it to rich kids to go to private schools. $5,000 is not going to get any poor kid into a private school. What it's going to do is make it easier for rich kids to go to those private schools. And so I have a real problem with this. I went to public school, I grew up in Nevada, and this is a real issue for me because I believe that money should be going to our public schools and to the kids who need it the most.
Interesting, because you said a voucher system and then you described something that was not a voucher system. A voucher is something, in fact, where the state pays directly to the school or the tutor, whomever. And you described actually the ESA, not a voucher. It's not a voucher program.
It doesn't matter which way you funnel the money, because you're funneling money at some point.
Makes a huge difference.
No, it doesn't.
Makes a big difference because vouchers are paid directly to the institution. This way, the people are using money that is designated for them to decide how they want to use for their kids, number one. Number two, that the money distributed to the schools on behalf of the students is not $5,100. It's more like around $8,000. And what people
Where are you getting your math on that? It is well documented that it's $5,000.
And what people are not understanding, no.
Yes,
no, you're not listening. Wait, listen and learn. Listen and learn.
Yeah,
What I'm talking about is the fact that the money that the state allots per pupil to the school district is not $5,000 or $5,100. It's more like $8,000. The money that they're allowing the students, the parents to take out and use as they want to is $5,100. The remaining dollars that I'm talking about are going directly to the school district. Now, I've talked to school district officials about this and teachers, and they all acknowledge this, as well as the state treasurer. So if you pull a student out, put them in private school, and you get your $5,100, and you spend it as you want, that remaining $2,000, $2,500, $2,800, whatever it happens to be, that money goes to the public school where that student resides. So the public school doesn't have a body, but they have that extra money.
Well, you can watch more of that ESA debate as well as a review of Donald Trump's rough Tuesday and a debate over using room tax money on an NFL stadium on LasVegasNow.com. Look under your local election headquarters tab. Patrick?
All right, Steve, thank you very much. It's time for the race now, where we go through some of the other big political local stories this week. Democratic state candidate Catherine Cortez Masto picked up an endorsement this week from the Metro Officers Police Union, the LVPPA. She has also previously picked up endorsements from other local law enforcement unions. Now, they said as Attorney General, she gave them the tools to fight human traffickers and meth labs. Las Vegas Latin Chamber of Commerce founder Otto Meridia has switched his endorsement to Joe Heck. Meridia, who is a Republican, had previously endorsed Cortez Masto. He said he had made his decision to support real economic growth for the Latino community. And one factor that may play a key role in those races will be voter registration. Let's take a look at this. Democrats still registering more new voters across the state than Republicans, but both parties saw a slight lull between June and July. According to the Secretary of State, Democrats added more than 8,500 voters in July. Republicans added nearly 6,000 voters, and those numbers lag behind figures posted by both parties in June, but nonpartisans continue to add voters. They were up nearly 8,000 compared to nearly 20% of the electorate, or comprising rather about 20% of the electorate statewide. All told, more than 72,000 Democrats, more than Republicans statewide. Here in Clark County, Democrats outnumber Republicans by more than 123,000 voters. Meantime, up north in Washoe County, Republicans lead Democrats by more than 5,000 voters. That county will play a key role in the presidential race between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. A lot of numbers to crunch. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Furniture Fashions, for all your fashionable furniture needs at the new Boulevard Mall. No credit check financing, interest-free options, low payment plans, and even layaway. Second location coming soon at Las Vegas South Premium Outlets.
Southern Nevada car buyers, Tobin's got it. If you're looking for the largest selection of new Dodges, Chryslers, Jeeps, Fiats, or even used cars, all at our lowest prices, Tobin's got it. The #1 Dodge dealer in the nation, Tobin Dodge. #1 domestic dealer, Prestige Chrysler Jeep Dodge. And the store-named #1 Fiat dealer in the country, Tobin Fiat. Plus, Tobin supports numerous charities throughout Southern Nevada. No matter what you're looking for, Tobin's got it. Come by, call, or click kingofcars.com today.
Hello, I'm Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. I've helped Nevada residents buy and sell over 5,000 homes since 1994. We at 048 Realty are proud to partner with the Nevada Broadcasters Association in recognizing the Nevada Military Support Alliance. Nevada servicemen and women are battle-born and often stand in harm's way to fight for our freedom, with some giving the ultimate sacrifice. I'm Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy, and I am Nevada proud.
Albertsons has everything you need every day. The freshest food and low Albertsons prices. And right now you can save even more during our huge anniversary sale.
Happy anniversary to me.
Get select varieties of Pepsi 12-pack 12-ounce cans 4 for $10 when you buy 4. And Gatorade 32-ounce bottles 58 cents each when you buy 6. Plus pork loin back ribs, buy 1 get 2 free. Albertsons huge anniversary sale. It's just better.
Furniture Fashions, for all your fashionable furniture needs at the new Boulevard Mall. No credit check financing, interest-free options, low payment plans, and even layaway. Second location coming soon at Las Vegas South Premium Outlets.
You know who I don't trust? I wonder. Donald Trump.
Yo. Can I be real for a second? I heard that Hillary's VP pick was a white dude, but that's a white dude. That dude is white. Like, Tim Kaine is like a real-life version of black people's impersonations of white people. That guy is white. He makes Mike Pence look like DMX. That's how white he is.
It's time now for What to Watch, rather. Let's get to What to Watch, where we look at the big political stories over the next week. Another payday loan summit being held this week. This one for the public to come forward and weigh in on if cooling off periods or interest rate caps need to be implemented. It is Wednesday at the Grant Sawyer Building. And this is the last week that town hall meetings are being held for people to weigh in on the reorganization of the Clark County School District. They're being held Wednesday, Thursday, and Tuesdays, the closest one that you can get to. Those are at different schools. All of that information available online at LasVegasNow.com. Again,